Hi, my name is Carita Hønborg, and I made this Excel sheet with binomial trees that I want to show you, and I hope that you can have some use of. So let's look at it. You have to give the information here in the top left side of the sheet. You have to enter the stock price at times 0. You have to enter the strike price. You have to enter the risk-free rate, and then you have to consider whether the volatility is given in the assignment or whether you have to calculate it. If the volatility is given in the assignment, which is it mostly is, then you just leave this drop-down menu on given. Otherwise, you choose calculated. If you choose calculated, then you have to, if you look at the bottom of the sheet here, you have to go to the sheet calculating volatility, and then you have to enter the information that you have to calculate the volatility for whatever asset or merchandise you're looking at. And the important part here is that at this cell B8, you have to enter the result of the calculated volatility for the binomial tree to use the correct volatility. I have also added the manual calculation of the volatility, and the numbers are just taken from Hull's book, but you can obviously use it for whatever changes you have in prices that you are calculating. But I don't think you're going to use this because, like I said, normally the volatility is given in the assignment, and then you just have to enter it right here in cell E5. You have to consider the total lifetime in years. So here at 0.5, it's 6 months, it's half a year. And you have to enter the number of periods in your binomial tree. And that is all you have to do, because then the formulas will calculate the delta and the up movement, the down movement, and the probability, and of course the discounted and compounded rates. As you can see, if you look down, then the stock price is calculated here in the white areas, and the option price in the green areas. And if you look further down, then you have the European call option calculated, the European put option calculated, the American call option, and the American put option, all calculated from the data you've given above. And you also have the nodes on the binomial tree in which it is advantageous to exercise the American put option early. What you do, so you don't have to scroll as much, is you choose what you have to show in the assignment you're making. So if you, for instance, are asked to calculate an American call option, then you choose it here, and then the green nodes here will fetch, so to speak, the results from the American call option here. And if you are asked to calculate a European put option, then it will be from the European put option here that the nodes in the green areas are shown. So I think you have to download the sheet to have access to these drop-down menus. And if you don't want to do that, if you just want to use it online, then you can just scroll down to see the various types of options. This is for what I would call a normal binomial tree. Then you also have, if you look in the bottom of the screen here on the other sheets of this Excel, then you have a version where it is possible to enter a dividend yield. Q is the usual letter used for this. And of course, you also have to enter the stock price at times 0, the strike price, the risk-free rate, and the lifetime in years and number of periods, like you always have, and the volatility, which is probably given. So you just leave the choosing option at given. But this is exactly like the first sheet I showed you. It's just with the possibility to calculate the option price of the whatever kind of option that you're calculating it from, taking in regards dividend yield. So you just have to fill out this one as well. And if you look in the bottom, at the bottom of the screen, you also have the binomial tree in actually kind of the same versions, but this is just a bit more complicated, because if you have dividend paid out in amounts at various periods in time, so to speak, then you have to add here in half a year, in a year, in 7 years or whatever, when and what value the dividend amount will have at that point of time, and then this extra calculations to the right here takes that into account when calculating the option. And I just made some tests here. The total lifetime in years for this option is only 2 years, so this dividend way out in the future, 7 years from now, it was just to make a fun test, is of course not a part of this, but you can check the formula, so you can check it against DerivaGems in Hull's book if you want to, but I really check these sheets, and I'm pretty sure they function as they're supposed to, but of course check them, and please let me know if you should stumble across anything that doesn't work as you expect it would. If you look at the bottom of the screen once again, you also have the binomial tree where you consider trading currency, and you have to consider the foreign risk-free rate. So here you have an extra cell where you can add this information, and then you just use the sheet as we talked about. Also, of course, taking into account the exchange rate at time 0, because now we're not talking a stock price, we're talking an exchange rate. But it works the same way, and you have the information for calculating this for currency. And finally, I also made this binomial tree for futures, where the formulas are a little bit different. You can check your whole book if you want to check it, but you still have the same information you give, and you have to choose which kind of option you're asked to calculate, and then you can see the result here. Together, the stock price, the option price for the option you chose, but you can also scroll down if you want to see the various option prices. I think that was kind of that. I just want to mention one thing. I have a sheet here in the end called sources, and I marked them do not delete, because they are the basis for the drop-down menus. So please just leave this sheet as it is if you want the rest of the sheets to function for you. I hope you can use it. I spent many hours constructing this sheet, and it was a great help for me in the exam. And I just want to share it, and hopefully it can be useful for you as well. Thank you for your time. Please download the sheet and maybe let me know if you like it. Thank you.